Hey, welcome to the Gig Life Podcast. I'm your host, Stevie Taylor. Just a few housekeeping things. First up, this podcast is produced wholly by me. It's not connected to any network or sponsors, which means we can pretty much do whatever we want, but it also means that we don't get any of their money. It's free for you to listen, and it always will be, but if you see the value in the Gig Life Podcast, you can leave a tip or a donation. You can find a link in the show notes on your podcast app or at thegiglifepodcast.com. As always, you can subscribe to the podcast in your app and catch up on all the other episodes and everything that's coming up. Right, so my guest today is Stevie Cat Jnr. Stevie is a drummer from Waiuku in New Zealand who now lives in Melbourne, and he currently plays with Aussie hip-hop legend Seth Sentry. He was one half of Misfits of Science, a hip-hop rap duo that had big success in New Zealand in the early 2000s with their hit song Fool's Love. Once Stevie moved to Melbourne, he joined up with Kimbra. And while Kimbra hit the heights, Stevie rode that wave and toured the world. He's also played for Regurgitator, RnBeast band, and the Gospel Sunday. This is episode 121, and I hope you enjoy my conversation with Stevie Cat Jnr. I think we're rolling. Stevie Cat Jnr.
Hey.
Welcome to Gig Life Podcast, bro.
Kia ora, bro. How we doing?
Good, bro. Good. What's going on? You're down in Melbourne?
Yeah. Chilling in Melbourne. Been here 11 years now.
Okay.
A year and a half of that in lockdown.
Yeah. I'm not going to spend much time talking about COVID today. If we end up chatting about it, whatever, but
bro, I hear you.
It is what it is, eh? I think I don't think there's anything that we can say today that people are not already thinking or talking about, eh? So
it's just like everything anyone talks about these days is COVID, you know.
So what are you doing for Mahi?
I work for the IGA, like distribution center. You know, IGA is like, you know, independent Australian grocery. Yep. And I work in there, just like sending orders out. Yep. You know, loading trucks and stuff. Is
it? Well, I just said we won't talk about COVID, but is that particularly busy? Is that particularly busy now?
Bro. In the beginning, man, I just came to work one day and all you could see was just toilet paper, pallets and pallets of toilet paper, bro. You kind of. You put your hand on your face and you're like, fuck, come on, man.
Here we go again.
I would really, it's just toilet paper, you know. But it gets pretty busy. It's I've been real fortunate that my job just keeps cranking through. You know, it's all essential stuff. So
that's
good.
good.
Real blessed in that way that it can just keep working and making money.
Yeah, same with me, bro. I'm an electrical fitter and I repair electric motors and pumps, and we do a lot of work for Sydney Water, which is all the wastewater. So you know, that's people still shitting, man.
They always got
and
it,
it's all getting blocked up with fucking toilet paper. So
and masks.
Yeah, that's it.
Masks, bro. Yeah.
No, So you said you're in Melbourne now, and you're originally from Waiuku?
Yeah, bro.
Yep. So Waiuku is, would say it's sort of southwest of central Auckland, a little bit down by Pukekohe.
Yeah.
If people want to look that up on the map.
Yeah. I always say it's like south Auckland, you know.
South Auckland. Yeah, it's not South Auckland, eh? Yeah.
No, because you tell people, I'm from South Auckland, they're like, whereabouts, bro? And I'm like, the bush. You know, they always think like Mangere or Taro or something like that. I'm nah.
Mount Wellington or something like that.
Yeah, grew up there, bro. Left there when I was like 20, 21 for the big smoke, Auckland, you know. Yep. To make my fame and fortune.
Yeah. I've been to Waiuku once,
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it was there when you were living there, but Revolver Studios.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of Revolver Studios?
Yeah, I think that was after.
It might have been after. Yeah. 2012. We went back there and we recorded a song there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that was the first and only time I've been in Waiuku.
Did you hit the beach?
No, we didn't get that far. Yeah, no. It was just straight to the studio, and then straight after that, it was home. It was dark. We were out of there, and it was Oh, no, that's cool, man. All right, let's roll it right back then to early days in Waiuku, and let's sort of lead up through your life there, and then into Auckland, and then we'll see where we go from there. So, is your family musical?
My dad was a singer in a band, and I grew up on his musical. Like, he's got the craziest musical, like varied musical taste, So I like pretty much put everything I'm down to what I grew up on, And he would play everything from like Steely Dan to like Led Zepp to like George Benson, jazz, pop, everything. And so, like he was never really doing anything when I was a kid. He would always talk about his band, and he like and how he used to sing in his band. But he's a music lover, like 1,000%.
Yep. I'd say he doesn't play instruments. Does he play anything?
Oh, he's Māori, so he plays a bit of guitar. It's like it's in the blood.
It's in the blood. Yeah.
Pick a guitar and you're like, you can make make it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a singer.
Yeah. When did you first grab an instrument yourself?
I think properly. Well, as the story goes, my dad told me like when I was, I don't know, like 9 or 10 or something, I really got into drums. Mm-hmm. Well, I got my first pair of drumsticks, and I like apparently beat up all his paint cans.
Yeah,
I got all those like paint can lids and was like ding, and he like go to open them all and they're all just nearly punctured and he couldn't even open them.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I think maybe I need to get this bloody kit, a drum kit."
Yeah, because all my paint's got skins on it now.
It's all the lids were just caved in, and it was all high as. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I think maybe he's serious." So I got my first drum kit when I was 12 years old.
Okay, who was some of the first drummers that got your attention?
Probably the first drummer as a kid I really, really noticed was Tim Alexander from Primus.
Yep.
Yeah, because I got into Primus quite young, so I was like 10 or something like that.
Yep.
My sister was heavily into like alternative music, so whatever she was playing, was it was leaking into my ears as well,
Yep.
So he was the first person where I actually would listen and go, I don't know what he's doing, and can't really tell what's going on, but it was pricking my interest. He's all this like kind of, now you listen to it now and it's all just like hi-hat work and all this kind of cool stuff where I'd never really heard that kind of stuff before.
Yep. Do you remember what that first Primus album was?
The first Primus album I got was, I'm pretty sure it was Frizzle Fry.
Okay.
Frizzle Fry album. It was like 1990, and that album is fantastic, man. Like 3-piece, like Les Claypool on bass, just smashing. Like Herb is just a beast, like fantastic band.
Were you trying to? Well, so would you listen to that stuff and then sit down and try and work it out, or just was it a case of fuck, I can't do that?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was pretty much that. Like I remember getting the kit and just playing this one beat over and over again, which is the classic, which we called it in Waiuku, was the Māori beat, which was the I would just play that over and over because I was just so excited about it. And I do these like fills, and I remember my sister coming in and being like, she's like, because she was studying piano at the time. She's like, when you do your drum fills, you have to come back in on time. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because I was just like flinging my arms around and then doing a crash and just coming in, you know. And she said, like, I remember that being one of my first drum lessons. Was like, you got to come in on the one, you know.
Yeah.
But it took me years to even be able to figure out what Herb was playing. You know what I mean? Even now, I kind of listen to it and I'm like, man, what's he doing?
Yeah.
You know, he sounds like he's got like 4 hands on the hi-hats, you know? It's like that. It's like that rush, you know, that rush drumming, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that Neil Peart sort of.
Yeah, that Neil Peart stuff, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the music scene like? I mean, this, you know, maybe more the sort of the adults. What was the music scene like in Waiuku? Was there some? You're laughing. Were there some sort of local bands that were, you know, heading into Auckland to play or down to Hamilton?
Oh man, not that I was aware of.
Okay.
But like I didn't really have much to do with it. You know, I was like just teaching myself the drum in the shed.
Yep.
In the shed at home, and like I left at 20, and I wasn't really, you know, a lot of people when they grow up in their hometown, they don't really like their hometown very much. You know what I mean? You know, you're kind of like, fucking get me out of here, bro. As soon as I can get my feet out the door, I am gone, man. Yeah. And that's how I felt. And that's like Auckland was that. I was like, because I started writing music with a bunch of mates of mine. We were making like, what year was that? Like 99 or something, 2000.
Yep.
And when I left, and it was like we were making like tech metal stuff, you know. And I was like, because it was no one in Waiuku's listening to this, no one's playing it, and I was like, I need to get out of here, man. You know, it's like, so yeah, I'm not too sure. Like Waiuku, pretty small place, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, like
a couple of bands probably cranking, but not that I know of, man.
Yeah, see, I'm from Masterton, and and I, you know, for me. It's funny at the time because the way we left, like my dad came home one day and, you know, because we'd lost our family business, and my dad came home one day and says, "Oh, I'm going over to Australia for a job interview," and we're like, "Oh, okay." So he went over. He was away for a weekend, and he came back and he got the job, and he said, but the deal was. He would go back there for 3 months and, you know, obviously his probation or whatever and see if he liked it. And then if that was all good, then me and my mum and my younger brother were going to move. And it was just like that. Like within 3 months we were here. And it's funny, like at the time, like around before that, it was probably in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh, geez, I can't wait to get out of here. Yeah, and then you go, and then you spend the rest of your life trying to get back.
Like
I think about home all the time, and especially now, we can't get back there. I haven't been back for a couple of years, and I have no idea when we're going to get back there.
Yeah, are you like Masterton in general, or just
New Zealand as well? Because when we go back, you know, we fly into Auckland, and we've got friends in Auckland and Hamilton and. You're just all the way down and then into the Wairarapa and into Wellington, and that's usually a couple of weeks for us, but haven't done it for a few years. It's killer, but it's funny. You just want to get out, eh?
Oh man, you couldn't hold me back, bro.
Yeah,
but I know what you mean about the call home.
Yeah,
it's strong now. It's really strong
for sure. Okay, so you was there any school? Were you any school band? So the group of mates that you had that were doing that tech metal, was that your school band? Fellas from school.
I was in a school band put together by the music teacher, a guy called Mr. Horn, and he kind of like cherry picked these like students to be in his band. It was kind of like made to go into the Rock Quest, you know.
Oh, yep.
And the band was called Gravity.
Yep.
And it was just like, you know, my bro, Bryce Thompson on the bass, because, you know, he was badass. And I think I was the best drummer at school.
Yep.
Out of the 2 or 3 drummers that were at school. And, you know, Yeah, and then we went into the Rock Quest and we did our thing. We wore like tight gold sparkly shirts, bro. Oh man, it was like that's like not good. But it was fun. It was cool. Like it was my first foray into like playing kind of music that I didn't really like.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like playing kind of just like kind of cheesy pop stuff.
Okay.
Because before that I was just playing whatever I wanted, you know.
Yep.
And on that I won it was in Monaco anyway. Mm-hmm. We won we didn't win anything, but I won the best musician that night.
Oh, awesome.
Which was pretty mean.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. I got that award somewhere. I think my mum's got it somewhere.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've decided to get out of Waiuku and you head up to the Big Smoke of Auckland. So what was the first steps there? What did you have? Did you guys have an idea of where you were going to try and go and play, or places to approach, or places to stay?
Yeah, well, we played a lot at this place called Papa Jack's, which was kind of like, because we were playing like tech metal, like Dillinger Escape Plan kind of stuff, you know. And kind of at that time, there wasn't a lot of other bands playing it. Mm-hmm. So in Auckland, like the hardcore scene was real big.
Yep.
You know, so we kind of on a technicality, we kind of squeezed our way into the hardcore scene. We played a lot of hardcore gigs, which we were quite out of place. And we played like Hamilton, the Hamtown Smackdown, you know what I mean, where there was all that hardcore, you know, and there was us playing these crazy like tech metal shredding,
melodic, rhythmic.
Yeah, you know, just lots of counting.
Yeah.
Spending the night counting. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long were you doing that before you started up Misfits of Science?
Oh, I started this. I met my bro Yudi, my partner in rhyme, in I think it was 2002.
Yep.
I was working at a Korean knockoff hip hop shop, and they just sold like knockoff clothes, you know, in the CBD.
Oh yeah. And
he came in and we're like, you know, like we just started kind of talking about music, you know, because I was bumping like some hip hop at the time, and I was really, really heavily into hip hop at that time. I was playing tech metal at night, but then during the day I was, you know, just really into my hip hop. So we just started talking, and he was messing with some other dude doing some stuff, and he showed it to me, and I was like, arrogantly, I was like, oh bro, I could make better than that. And I'd never made any beats before, you know, because I was just I was just confident that I could, you know, because you know what sounds good. And I'm like, and I think being a drummer and being in bands, I was like, oh man, you know, I can. And because I'm not overly confident about much things in life, but I'm confident about music.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do. Yeah.
There's some things in your life where you feel at home.
Yep.
And you know that your knowledge and what you have to say on that matter has weight.
Yep.
And that's how I felt. And then he was like, oh, okay, shit. So then we made a beat, and we're like, oh fuck, this might be something. And so we just started banging away at it, both like making beats, and then he was like, oh, you should start writing verses. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, I can do that, you know. Same old shit.
So you hadn't done that at all until you met Yudi?
Nah, bro. No beat making, no rapping.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was just like straight into it, you know. Yeah. And I think like being a drummer and being a musician, it all kind of made sense to me, especially rhyming, you know. It's all just rhythms.
Yep.
And patterns, you know, like and words and stuff. So that really attracted me, and you know, I was like, oh yeah, and it was all working really good, and we made this song, and we were like, fuck, this is really good. And my bro was like, oh, we should try and get funding for it.
Yeah.
And then we got the funding, and then we thought, oh, we should try and get the video funding for it. And then we got the video funding. And yeah, man. And then it just kind of took off, you know.
Yeah.
Like just these two dudes had met, and in a couple of years, like it just kind of, it was off.
Yeah. And that song you're talking about is Fool's Love.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's talk about because you guys really hit when that video came out, right? Am I right there?
Yeah.
And it's such a fucking cool video.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and I'll put a link in the bottom of the show notes. People go check it out. But it's a hard case. These little bodies with the big heads. It's the best, man. And you can't help but watch it. And And this is how it was for me. And then you're watching it, and then the hook's just in your head, and then the she loves me. It's just there. It's fucking there all day now. It's there, you know. And
perfect pitch too, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, brother. and I the last couple of days I've been listening to that MOS Presents the album.
Oh yeah,
fucking cool, man.
Oh,
it's really clever, eh? And that's why when you said that you hadn't done any raps or rhymes before, it's surprising because it's really good, man. It's put together really well, and it's clever and it's funny, and I like how in between some of the songs there's like, I don't know what the language is of the first little break. I don't know if it's African or something, and then Zimbabwean, and then then there's the South African.
That's Yudi because he's South African, and he was like taking the piss out of like white South Africans.
Yeah. And then the chipmunks. That fucking hard goes with the chipmunk voice. You know, your voice is turned down to chipmunks, but I mean, apart from the breaks, just thought, all the tracks on that, it's great, man. It's really, really cool. So, thanks, all right, bro. So that was that album made and ready to drop, or had you just done the single and the video, and then from the single and the video, the album came after that, or?
Well, it was kind of we had a few songs, but we made that was kind of like the new batch, you know, where we were kind of like, oh shit, you know, and then when that video aired, like it just went from 0 to 100, you know, like was people like recognizing us on the street and all this kind of crazy shit, you know. So it was like, and then all these, and the record companies wanted us, and it was all just, man, it was like, it was crazy. So then we're like, oh, well, you need an album. And we're like, oh, we got some songs. But, you know, I think with me and Yudi, and I think with most musicians, is you're constantly creating, trying to, you know, find the gold, you know, because you make, you know, you hear about, I remember, is it like Wu-Tang or something? They're like, oh, they had like 80 songs or something for an album, and they're like, whittle it down. Yeah. You know, like crazy shit. Like, you don't just make you don't make 10 songs in a row and go, this is the album now. You know, something. You just kind of keep chugging away and then you've got all these songs, and then you just whittle them down to, you know, the chosen few. Yeah. So there was a bit of that afterwards. But the crazy thing with us is it was also whirlwind. And me and Yudi, like we were like you said, like we're fun, like the funniness and the kind of like it was all a bit of it was all very lighthearted, you know. Like we were just kind of like having fun, and then we'd make the crazy track, and at the time like we were just like partying. It's like you're just thrown into this world, bro, of like just like industry gigs and partying and being on TV and all these interviews. Man, I was just a Māori boy from Waiku, bro. Who plays Czech metal at night, and then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what I mean? It was crazy. It was the craziest shit. So we were just like experimenting in all ways. So like we were just coming up with this music, and we're just like, yeah, that'll do. That's crazy. And then as the time went on, they're like, you know, the record company's like, oh, they need the album to be finished. Then we just started just pumping out just this crazy shit, you know. And if you listen to the album, there isn't a song on there that sounds like Fool's Love. You know what I mean? Because it's like, because I was always a fan of like musicians and albums where it was like all the songs are different, you know, because music is like music and songs is like a period of time. It's a time stamp. You know what I mean? Like at that time, you were doing this, so you write about this, and your music sounds like that. You know, like so that's why a lot of the songs are so different. But yeah, we got there like we had to. I think we pulled like a 24-hour or 48 hours in the studio, just recording all the vocals, like because they're like, wait, they need it. The record company needs it.
So you actually got to feel that pressure.
Oh man, yeah, it was hard, bro. Like I was like asleep, like someone you'd be like recording his verses, and I'd be like asleep on the couch, you know, like surrounded by V cans, and like oh yeah, it's your turn, and jump up. You know, it was a crazy time, man. Yeah, real crazy time.
Yeah. So, what was the time frame from when the song and the video dropped to when you realized, oh fuck, this is massive, and it hit? What's are we talking? Did you kind of realize within a week or so, or did it take a little bit longer to?
Well, yeah. So we recorded the song, and then so we got the funding for it, and we recorded the song, and then we got the funding for the video.
Yeah.
And we got these two like young cats did the video for like $5,000, which is crazy when you look at it. It looks crazy.
Yeah.
Like, looks like they spend more than that, and they spent so much time on it. Like it was a real blessing. And we're like, oh yeah, it's ready. So I think let's put it out into the world. And its debut was on like DJ Severe. He had this hip hop show. It was the C4 hip hop hour, and like it got sent to him, and we're like, we're sitting there watching, and this is in the I think the video took, it took months, because these guys, it was labor of love for these dudes. They spent their 5 G's in like the first couple of weeks, so they were just like putting, we're like seeing little snippets of it with the things with the big heads and shit.
Yeah.
We're like, oh man, this is so cool. And we were hyped on it.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is dope. It's like, we're really proud of it, really proud of the song, really. And we're like, yeah, let's send it in. Not being like, this is going to be, the biggest thing to happen to us in our lives so far.
Yeah.
So we send it in to Severe, and it plays,
Yep.
And we're like watching it. We're like, oh, wow, cool, man. Our video was just on TV.
Yeah.
And then he comes back from the ad break, and he's looking at the camera, and he's like, so this has never happened before. We've had so many requests to play that song again. And then he just went, he started talking about us. He's like, because I met him a couple of times. And he was like, oh yeah, these guys are Kiwi, because apparently so many people watched it. And they were like, is this American?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, because
you guys are dressed in the full basketball gears and...
Yeah, bro. We were like me and you were dressing like that for years, because we were so deep into hip hop and everything about it.
Yep.
So we were on eBay ordering, spending all our doll money on on these gears, So and if you seen us before the video, you would have seen us walking around Auckland City in those gears.
Yeah.
So yeah, people were like, "Is this American?" Because it looks like it's $100,000 video.
Yeah.
And these guys don't look like they're from New Zealand. And it sounds, it sounds international, which is what we wanted. We were never like going to go on there and talk about fish and chips and just be like, be all like, yeah, we wanted to be international.
Yeah.
And for us at that time, it was just steering away from kind of any of that kind of thing. And the way we pronounced some words was American, and man, we caught some fire on that, bro. It was just like so many people were like, oh, these guys think they are, rah-de-rah, like, with American accents. But yeah, so that after that got aired, man, they got added to like their catalog, like C4's catalog, the music station at the time. and they were just pumping it. And then from there on, bro, it was just like, hold on to your hair, man, because shit was just like crazy. You know, it's like you can't even imagine. You know, like I was off to work at Foot Locker.
Yep.
To go to Foot Locker, and I could just feel people staring at me, and I'm like,
oh wow,
staring at me. And it took me ages to like click. I was like, oh shit, they must recognize me, you know? And it's like, yeah, it's weird, man.
Were they like, were they walking past going, his head's not that big. His head's bigger on the video.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it was it's a crazy time, bro. Like crazy time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll see if I got these stats right. So Fool's Love was one of the most successful charting New Zealand singles ever, spending 4 consecutive weeks at number 1, 18 weeks in the top 10 and 32 weeks total in the top 40. Is that about right?
Yeah, I think
yeah.
Sounds about right. I remember the 4 weeks at number 1. That was
what was that like?
Cool.
What was that like? The first week.
Oh man!
Did you have any idea at that stage that it was going to go number? Could you kind of feel the vibe of it building to be sort of number 1?
No, not really.
Yep.
Like this was at that time when kind of radio play and all that kind of stuff kind of mattered.
It mattered, yeah.
We're kind of just. I remember being out somewhere walking with some mates, and I heard a car drive past, and it was like, boom, and I was like, fuck, just a random car,
yeah,
you know, and they were like bumping our tune, and I was like, and that was the point where I was like, man, this is crazy, and you get the word up from like the people at the record company going, oh, you know, it's getting this close, you know, it's in the top 20, and you're like, what? It was all just so quick, you know, it's like I can barely remember it, because it was just. It was just a blur. And there was so much interviews. It was just interviews and like industry parties and like so much alcohol. Like and at the time they had herbals over here, you know, like legal. Like it was like synthetic herbals, which is crazy that they were illegal.
Yep.
And man, I just call that was the herbal time, you know. It was just like, because we were just like constantly doing stuff, so it was like on these herbal pills and on all this free alcohol, and it was just like, it was madness, bro. Total madness.
Okay, so riding that wave, I would say there would have been expectation from. Oh, sorry, had you? Were you guys signed at that stage?
We were signed to the guy who recorded the single.
Yep.
We were signed to kind of his, indie label, and then we went through him to connect with Sony BMG.
Okay.
Like we did the rounds. We talked to not interviews, but we had conversations with, the heads of all the other labels.
Yep.
Which was weird. We're like, oh, now we're going to see Universal. You know what I mean? It's like, it was just like, and my bro Yudi, he's the brains of the outfit, and he's always really he's really eloquent and he really knows what he wants. Yeah. And for me, it was such a tumbling kind of crazy time. It was just all kind of a little bit of a joke. Because it was just right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like, bro, I've been rhyming for a year.
Yeah.
I've been making beats for about a year and a half. It was all I had to laugh at it because it was just it was crazy, So, but we ended up going with Sony BMG, which was cool.
Okay.
We were happy with that.
That's cool. So with that, there would have been expectation for more music, another album. So. I did read something, but I won't quote that. I'll get you to tell a story about what happened with that that second album, and from what I read, it seemed like it was a bit of a timing thing maybe with streaming coming in around about that time?
Oh, it was kind of, to be honest, it was like we released other singles after Fool's Love, right? And none of them really did any good because they're all just crazy, completely different. You know what I mean? Like, so what was that like then? What was that feeling like? So before we get onto that second album, like releasing those next couple of songs, did you fellas think that, we're going to go around again? Or was it just like, let's just release this one and see what it does? I can't like, it was definitely like, oh, let's see how it goes.
Okay.
We were wanting for more.
Sure, of course,
as you do. You like, let's keep this going.
Yeah.
But there was also that, I call it that kind of punk rock in us where we just kind of wanted to make whatever we wanted to make.
Yep.
You know, if we had been quote smart about it, we would have just like cranked up some more Fool's Love type things. Yep. But we were just making whatever and being like, how about this one? This song's about going to the club and taking ecstasy. Should we see how this goes? You know, like, it was, we were like, it was crazy, man.
Okay, so dropped those couple of singles. Now talk about the second album and what happened there.
Oh, well, I think, so the deal with Sony BMG, that kind of fell to pieces. And we were kind of disenchanted by the whole music scene altogether, you know, like,
okay,
because we were really happy with the album we made, but, you know, sales weren't that good. And it was just kind of like, we started working on the second album and it was just kind of that thing, like I said, about, you know, music is some of the best music is like at a period of time. And there's like some of those tunes that we're working on, we were just laboring on them, man. Just like spending too much time thinking about, oh, is this going to be the next
like
Fool's Love?
Overthinking type thing?
Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? Rather than just like, because, you know, when we made Fool's Love, it was just like a happy accident, man.
Yep.
And it was like, this song is dope. Let's do something with it. Not like, oh, let's try to make that again. It's like, it's not creating from the right energy.
Yeah.
So, and it was just kind of like, and there was like dramas with labels and shit, and like, and it just fell apart. So we like had a lot of songs for that second album, but it never got made. You know, it was like, it's weird. It's weird going from like such crazy heady heights to just nothing.
Nothing.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and no support.
Yeah.
From record labels or anything. It's just kind of like, well, you're old news. You know what I mean? And you know, and everyone knows that. But you know, everyone knows that's what the industry is like.
Yep.
But until you experience it, you know, you don't really know. You know, it's kind of rough. You know, because it's like, it's just kind of, oh shit, no, they don't care anymore.
And that whole Hero to Zero.
Yeah, bro, hard. That's it, man. Like the whole, you know, the one-hit wonder thing and all that kind of stuff. You know, people start labeling you a one-hit wonder. I'm like, oh, better than no-hit wonder, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's for sure.
Rather, having something than never having anything.
Yeah.
But it just kind of fizzled out, and the album just kind of disappeared into the ether, you know, because it was like, I think both of us were struggling with just New Zealand music and hip hop music, like the whole industry and the scene, and like especially Yudi, he was like felt really burnt by it. So it was just kind of we kind of just fizzled out, bro. Just like, you know, we kept doing things. I don't know. It was just like I started to move away from wanting to even make hip hop anymore. You know,
right?
I was like, oh, I've done that. You know, for me, it was real flippant kind of like, oh yeah, I'm good, man. But my bro, he was like, it was this kind of his dream, you know, since he was listening to Wu-Tang when he was like 13 or something, you know, he's like, yeah, I'm going to be the hip hop artist, you know what I mean? But for me, it felt pretty easy to kind of just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
So I did.
Yeah. So by letting go, was that when the decision came to move to Australia?
Yeah, well, I kind of, you know, we were making tunes together. It was kind of, you know, I was dabbling into weird territory. I was making kind of like electro rap, you know, crazy shit. And my bro, I could tell he just wanted to make music with me. Mm-hmm. I didn't think he really loved it that much, you know. It was my thing, you know. I was on stage in like tight pink pants, playing cowbells and shit, you know. I was like, with like fluoro green nail polish and like a high top fade and shit, you know. I was like, doo, 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 doo. I was like, yeah. And he's, you know, there's this big burly like black South African dude going, oh yeah, okay, yeah, all right. You know, we did some stuff, but ultimately it was a woman that made me move to Melbourne, and that was the end of it, pretty much. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you land in Melbourne. What was your what was did you have any sort of musical ties here when you got to Melbourne, or were you just hit the ground running type thing? Yeah,
well, I followed my now wife over because I was like, you know, I was just kind of meandering back in Aotearoa, you know, like kind of making bits of music and not really doing much. So I just followed her here, and I wasn't here very long. And one of my best friends, guitar player from Waiku as well, who was in the tech metal band with me. Mm-hmm. He was playing for this girl called Kimbra. He was playing guitar for her, you know, and he'd known her from years from Hamilton. And they were gigging around, you know, doing these things, and my bro Stan Bicknell was playing drums for her as well. And then he'd put in a couple of years with her, doing the hard Yakapo, doing the shitty clubs, doing you know what I mean, doing the real stink clubs, and he was leaving. Yeah, you know, I think because he wanted to start this coffee business. And and he was like, I got to do this thing. Yeah. And my bro Timon was like, oh, you want to play the drums? And at this point, I probably hadn't touched drums for about 4 or 5 years. Okay. Because it was Misfits and, you know, and everything that wasn't Misfits kind of just dropped off. Mm-hmm. And then I just wasn't in bands anymore and I wasn't doing anything. So he's like, oh, you want to play with this girl, Kimbra? I'm like, oh, I think drums. Yeah, I reckon I can do that. Dust off the old drumsticks. And we had a few jams. Man, it was tough filling in the shoes of Stan Bicknell. Yeah. There were the times I would get Stan plays it like this. Oh, Stan plays it like this. Man, and he wouldn't let me live that down. Yeah.
Can you make your right foot go?
Well, he wasn't doing that at the time, so I don't think I would have got the job if he was doing that.
Yeah, just kidding.
But it was. Yeah, so I got a lot of that, like it's that player to this, but me and Stan are very different players. Mm-hmm. Like, but yeah, it was hard shoes to fill. I got in there, we did it. Things we like, and luckily for me, just as I joined, we played a few gigs, and she started blowing up. Yep. Like,
so for people that don't know, I'm sure everybody does know who Kimbra is, but if you don't know Kimbra before this, you'll know Kimbra from. Kimbra sang somebody that I used to know with how do you say his name? Gautier?
Goaty.
Fuck.
Boy Goaty. It's all good.
Yeah. And of course that song won Grammy Awards and was a huge hit all over the world and made her basically international star. So you sort of came in.
I came at the right time, bro.
Right time, bro. Yep.
Yeah, they like started paying for rehearsals, started paying for gigs, because before that it was all just a labor of love, you know.
Yep.
Stan, Timon, they all knew Kimber from when she was young in Hamilton. So when she moved over and they moved over, she was like, because she idolized these dudes from the band in New Caledonia that they were all in together. So she was like, oh, I want you guys as my band, you know. So I just happened to just step in, and pretty much things just started blowing up, you know. Like it was like we started playing around the country, and then all of a sudden she does a song with Gautier, and it just explodes. And then we're like, oh, now we're touring America.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit. And there's me, you know, I've been here, I don't, probably not even a year, bro. And it was just like, just throwing into it again. You know what I mean? I'm always, musically, I'm always riding some crazy wave that wasn't made by me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just lucky to have a boogie board and be riding the wave, you know? Blessed.
That's awesome. I saw your David Letterman performance today. I watched that video.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, with Kimbra. That's cool, man. Yeah. I got to say, right at the end there, Dave Letterman comes over and I see him say, "G'day." I saw him wave to you, and you sort of wave back to him. And he's standing there, and the first thing he does is grab Kimbra's skirt. She's wearing this big metal, like whatever the skirt thing was.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's okay. But he kept holding it, bro.
Oh.
And I'm like,
30 days.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know if I'm speaking out of school, but look, go watch that video and make up your own mind. But like, even after he'd stopped talking, he's still holding the metal skirt, you know, like, fuck. But I'll put that aside. That performance was just awesome. She's so dynamic. And I'm watching you play too. You got a lot going on too with electronics on both sides, and it was just cool.
Yeah, we had that was for the second album. So, and Kimber, like, it was great working with Kimber because she's a real. She has so much of her hands in the studio work.
Okay.
So she's like picking the drums and programming the sounds, and like, you know, she's over the producer's shoulder and she's constantly making tweaks.
Yep.
So, which, you know, seeing her work like that is awesome. But then when it coming to live, it was also a bit of it was hard work, you know, because she would be like, oh, your snare doesn't sound exactly like it does on the album.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, we had to start bringing all this electronic stuff, and you know, it was cool because I'd never done that before. You know, I had the SVD and I had a couple of pads. Actually, I had like 3 or 4 pads. You know, so there was a lot of that going on. And for me, you know, because I'm such a live band, I'm a live music guy. You know, like if I hear the record, I don't want it to sound like the record because I'll stay home and listen to the record.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like when you go and see a band, you're like, oh shit, man, they did something different. They approached it from a different angle, which Kimber did. But drums always got the spotlight for her because she's real rhythmical, you know. So and she's like spends so much time on the drums. So I got always had the light on me, like, play this exactly like that or play it like that. But then sometimes I could get away with stuff, you know. I could like chuck in like the triplet gospel fill, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, sweet as, bro." But then the tiniest little trap hat thing might not make it through.
Okay.
But it was it was such good training for me to work with someone who was so pedantic about things. To me, from a drummer's point, weren't important. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, but being able to like work with her and like find a happy medium and still be able to kind of enjoy myself.
Playing for the artist, bro?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's like I'd never had to do that before. Mm-hmm. You know, I was like, you know, like the metal bands and everything was just like, I just did what I wanted. Yep. You know, so being in that was great learning, really great learning. You know. Mm. Yeah.
How long were you in Kimbra's band?
Oh damn, a few years. Damn, it must have been like, I think it was like from like 2012 to 2015 15 or 16 or something. It was wild. Like, you know, we toured the States a bunch of times. We were just like constantly over there.
Yeah. So what was that like? What was that general experience like, being over in the States?
Oh,
and seeing that scene.
Fantastic, man. Okay. Like America and the American people are just something else. You know what I mean? It's like the musicians you meet. I remember we were in LA, and this is LA, man. And like, I remember, because around this time, like, I was getting into gospel drumming, you know, and I was like fumbling my way through this gospel drumming thing. And, you know, we're going to LA, and then Kim was like, well, Thomas Pridgeon's coming to this gig, you know, and I'm just like, oh, you fucking kidding me. Tell him to stay home.
Just gonna play 2 and 4 tonight.
Oh man. Yeah, just the pressure. I remember the pressure, because like LA is like, that's where all the like, and I think they were like, because Kimber was real good friends with Thundercat, you know, and his brother was Ronald Bruner Jr., like one of my favorite drummers all the time. And I was like, please, Lord, do not come to a gig. Please do not come. You know what I mean? There's going to be anyone in the audience. I don't care if there's drummers in there. Man, you know what it's like, bro. Like, it's either in your mind, you're like, okay, I'm going to take it real simple. But then all of a sudden, your hands just, man, you're trying to start proving something. It's like, nah, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this film, man. But it was all good because, man, like, these guys are in just the craziest league. They don't even notice what you're doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was cool meeting these kind of people, and just the caliber of musicianship there is just, man, it's just totally just, it's insane. We'd be in LA, and we'd be just like, because on one tour we got an American bass player and keys player.
Yep.
And you know, and they knew everybody. They knew Thundercat, Bruner Jr., all that, because they all know each other. You know what I mean? Yep. Which is dope. And then we were just out getting wings or something, and there was just this band like playing in the foyer of this restaurant, and they were just smoking, bro. The drummer was just smashing, and I was just like, man, just the level of musicianship here is just out of control. Because LA is just like, this breeding ground. Because it's the best of the best. If you want to be seen and play for someone, like, you know, because there's like thousands of these drummers that are just so good. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was cool. Like, so humbling, you know? Yeah. So humbling.
Did it dishearten you in a sense though? Like, if you're seeing that much, say if you had in the back of your mind, you know, whatever doesn't work out with Kimber, do I ever want to come back to LA and give it a crack? Do you kind of go, fuck, it's an uphill battle, man. There's a lot of cats here.
Oh, there was a point where, you know, we got the 3-year visa or something.
Okay.
You know, for America, and we were talking about, you know, maybe we could move there. Yeah. You know, because I was thinking like, oh, maybe I should become a full-time musician, because you know that's. Because I had no job back in Melbourne, because it was constant tours, you know. Yep. And I thought, you know, maybe we could be a full-time musician. And we were thinking about moving to LA, and I was like, man, I'm so glad we didn't, because, man, talk about minnow in a lake full of like sharks, bro. It's just like the competition is like, it's unbelievable.
Oh, I'm sure you would have found your place, bro.
I was like, oh man, I can play the SPD real good. Yeah, yeah. I leave the real drums to the real players. Yeah.
Hey, bro, check out my loops.
Yeah, bro. Hey, I can kind of rap as well.
Yeah.
Is that all right? Yeah. But it's in this weird Kiwi American accent. Are you into that?
Oh, that's funny. What's the hardest or the biggest challenge about touring for you?
Just being away from my lady.
Okay.
It's really hard for me. Like, just, yeah, we spend so much time on the phone, and I just miss her a lot, you know. And when, you know, we just had our daughter, and when I think about people like, oh, would you want to go on tour again? And now that I have a daughter, I just don't know if I could. Yep. You know, like, if I could leave them for that long a time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just too much of an emotional old moldy to do that. I was just crying all the time, right? But that was the hardest thing for me, just being away from her. You know, I had Timon, one of my best mates in the world, in the band with me. So we were always having good times, and we were always doing really cool stuff. But it was just that part I missed.
Yep.
But man, so much cool shit. Like you say, playing Letterman, that was like, you know what I mean? Like just before he stepped down. Yep. You know, like before he finished.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, bro. It was like maybe it was last season or second to last season or something. Wow. And man, that stage was cold, bro. He keeps the stage like, I don't know how, but it was like 6 degrees or something on stage because he likes it real cold.
He must run really hot.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. For that Viagra, I reckon.
Yeah, well, grabbing all those dresses, bro.
Oh, jeez. Dude, I have to watch it, bro. I didn't notice it.
Yeah. Just go check it out. Did he? I've seen videos of Letterman. I mean, because he's a bit of a drummer himself, eh?
Oh yeah, I was waiting for him to ask me about my drums.
Yeah, are they your drums? Are they your drums or are they rentals? Have you seen those videos? Yeah, are they your drums?
I was like,
drums.
I'd seen the videos, and I was like, this is my moment.
Yeah,
David Letterman's going to ask me if these are my drums.
Yeah,
and I'll just
that's cool.
Nod. Yeah, cool. Man.
Some of those other cool things he's had is that I think he had the drummers. I think it was a drummers week or whatever, and he had. I mean, Neil Peart was on there, Gavin Harrison. Yeah. Tony Royster.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, who else was on there? Dennis Chambers? No. Oh, I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, just get some killer drummers on there.
Mm.
And like Anton Fig, his house drummer. Man, I've been a fan of that guy for years. Like back in New Zealand, there was Hey Hey It's Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch that, and then Letterman was on after that. And I used to watch those shows to watch the drummers. So Darren Fergie on Hey Hey, and then Anton Fig. Yeah, just watch those guys. Bro. Yeah.
Hey Hey, it's Saturday. Ooh, yeah. You show your age on that one, brother.
I know. Yeah. All right. So the Kimber thing. How did that sort of end, and then what did you sort of cruise into after that?
I kind of, because she was like, America was just, we were constantly going there.
Okay.
You know, and it was like, she had actually, like, she had moved there, and it was like bless her, because that's my little sister.
Yep.
And she was like, she's such a crazy, loyal little Kiwi girl. She's like, she could have the most smoking backing band.
Yeah.
In LA, you know, as most artists do, they go there and they're like, I'll have a Royster on drums, I'll have you know all these dudes, and then she's like, oh, let's fly my Kiwi mates from Aussie, pay them, put them in hotels, pay them, you know, and for all the rehearsals, you know what I mean? She was spending so much money.
Yep.
And it got to a point where she was like, oh, you know, I can't really do this anymore. And I said to her, I said, sis, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for you to, because like you're spending way too much money. You know what I mean? Like flying us over.
Yep.
Yeah, all the, you know, she could save so much money because, you know, she wanted to do this forever and make as much money as she could.
Of course.
And I was just like, yeah, that makes total sense to me, you know? And I like, just do your thing. Go with love, you know.
Yeah.
But my boy Timon, he stuck with it because he's one, like, they create so much together. Like, he's helped write a lot of her songs and stuff. So he stuck in there for a while. I think maybe I don't know what he's doing, if he's going to go back or not. But he gets sucked in to the, you know, it's fun. But so yeah, after that I was just kind of, I thought maybe I'll be a full-time musician, you know, in Melbourne. Mm-hmm. And I thought said, yeah. And I started hitting up like, the corporate band things, and I'd be like, oh, hi, my name's Stevie, I play for Kimber, and they're like, oh, we currently have 60 drummers on our list, so like, now I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool, So, and then more I thought about it, I was like, I don't want to be a cover band guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be playing these songs I'm not really into just to make money. And, I got a lot of my bros are full-time musicians, and they work hard, man. They work really hard. They're gigging all the time. Some gigs I don't like.
Yep.
And I'm a bit of a picky bitch like that. I don't want to. I've always treated music as a love. And once it would start turning into a job, then I wouldn't like it anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's a job, So I started thinking about what I wanted to do, and I started thinking of this idea where all I wanted to play was R&B and hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I wanted to play. And I was like, I'd look around, I'm like, where's the R&B and hip hop cover bands? All I see is pop and all this kind of stuff. So I started trying to put something together for that while just working a day job, So that was this thing called RnBeast, which I was doing for a while. Like, got some of my homies here, like killer musicians, Mikey Chan, Anthony Liddell, Philly Francois, and we attempted to make, which is a lot of like this kind of RnBeast hip hop live kind of extravaganza with like visuals and
playing along to the videos. Yeah, I was watching a bunch of those videos the other night. Fuck, awesome, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
Bro, it was. Yeah, it was.
Playing along to Destiny's Child.
Yeah, all the kind of shit you watch, like Aaron Spears and all these dudes play along to. You're like, and you can chop out and you can open up.
Yep.
And it's like the technicality and the musicality is there. I was like, man, this is what I want to do. And we had so much fun, and we rehearsed. My band members hated me because they're like, it's so pedantic, I'm like, no, it's wrong. It's wrong. and then we did a few gigs, and I think it was just too much for people, because like it wasn't really, it went from just kind of like grooving out to this kind of like sweet tunes to like just having your head torn off by just crazy arrangements and drum fills and stuff, So that kind of faded off. And then I was like, oh, I'd still like to keep drumming, because I was like doing little things here. I was playing for a gospel covers band here called Gospel Sundays, which was just the best because, as a wannabe gospel drummer, being able to actually play in a gospel band who were playing, like actual, like nowadays gospel arrangements, like Kirk Franklin and all this kind of stuff. It was like a blessing. They're like, oh, because they Jason Hera was the drummer.
Oh, right. Yep.
The like beast, absolute beast.
Yep.
You're like, and I was like, oh, he's like, oh, he's leaving again. Someone leaves, and I stick my foot in there. Just lucky, man. Just lucky, bro. Awesome. And and that was just the best. Like I did that gig for years. Like one Sunday every month, the last Sunday of every month. That was just being able to like going from listening to gospel music and really absorbing myself into it to actually playing it. Man, so good.
Yep.
So good.
Sounds like highlight of the week.
Oh man, it was just like
awesome.
It's like you go to a gospel gig and it's like, because a lot of the audience was people from churches coming down.
Yeah.
Like and just the joy in that room, bro. It's just
wow, that's awesome.
It was, because that music's so moving. Whether you believe or you don't, it's hard not to be moved, man. Because it was like you feel the passion, of the people that do believe. And just the musicianship and everything, man, it's just like the best. you know, after that, I'm like, take me to church. I'm ready. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like if there is a God and she has a hand or he has a hand,
yeah,
it's music.
yeah.
The hand is music, bro, and they touch you with it. You know what I mean? You're like, oof. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that moves you like that. So I did that for a while, and that was amazing.
Yep.
And then I was like, I wanted to, keep drumming for other things. So I got in touch with an Aussie rapper called Century, who, funny enough, when I was with Kimbra, had said to his manager that he really liked my playing.
Oh, cool.
And this was years ago, you know, like when we first started. So I remembered that, and I was like, oh shit, Century, oh we go. Hunted him down. It's like, hey bro, you know, name's Stevie, played for Kimbra. You know, apparently, you know, you like my drumming. And it's been like 4 years or something crazy. And I was like, oh, you hit me up if you need a drummer. You know, a couple of days later, he hits me. He's like, actually, we're going to start thinking about getting a drummer. I'm like,
oh, cool.
The universe just pops it on my lap, bro. And I'm like, sweet. So just dive straight into that, you know, like full on live hip hop arrangements. You know, me, Seth, and a DJ, and Ableton running the backing tracks.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was amazing. And because they hadn't used any Ableton. They were just OG, like old school, you know, like play the CD.
Yep.
You know, like.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, we gotta use Ableton. We gotta do something different. You know, it's like arrange the songs, chop them up, all this stuff, and we just went in. We just arranged the whole set. You know, it was kind of like akin to like a Kendrick Lamar kind of gig, you know. It was all just, you know, the DJ was triggering things and Ableton was running. Yeah, and it's really fun. And I've been rocking with those guys ever since, which was, I think, like 2016 or something.
Yeah, that's cool. Was Dan Kirby doing that with Bliss and Esso at that stage?
Doing the drums for them?
Doing the drums, yeah. Was that around the same sort?
I think he's been playing with them for quite a while.
Yeah.
I think before that, I think they'd seen Dan Kirby and they liked the live drummer energy.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, we need that energy. Like that's what's missing from our shows. Yeah, and Dan Kirby, he's a bro.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Yeah, Dan's a man. He's awesome.
Melbourne. Yeah.
Yep. You also played with Regurgitator.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that. When I first came to Australia, Regurgitator were really starting to hit. And that was...
What year was that?
Oh, geez. Mid-90s?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that was another one of those. We were doing a festival. I can't remember what festival it was. With Kimbra. And now I'm a big Regurgitator fan. Yeah, from that 2 Playing album and Unit album, you know, like like incredible band. That's another example of like not one single song sounds like the next. They're the extreme.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're amazing. So we were playing a festival with Kimbra and they were playing and I was like, oh shit, I got to see these guys. So I watched them and, you know, I was like, man, that's fucking fantastic. And we're backstage and I'd had a few white poodles, bro, a few beers. And I was standing over there, you know, it was Quan and Ben, the bass player, I think.
Yeah.
And I rocked up there and I was like, man, I love you guys. You know, usual fanboy spiel. And I was like, if you guys ever need a drummer, I'm your man. I know all the songs. But harder, you know, it's just like embarrassing. If anyone had seen it, it'd be just totally embarrassing. Like, you guys are great. If you need a drummer, man, just give me a call, yeah? And then they were like, well, actually, our drummer's got to have foot surgery soon. And I got sober real quick. I was like, huh? What? You know, and it was like, yeah, like he's going to go in for foot surgery. So we got all these gigs that need to be played, and so we need a drummer. Would you be up for it? And then I was up for it. And then next thing you know, it was real quick. It was a crazy turnaround. It was like, oh, here's these 20 something songs that, would play, because it was like a few shows, and there was a few shows in New Zealand. It was like the big day out back home, like show in Wally. So I learned all these songs. So I just dove head first into all these, Regurgitator tunes, like punk tunes, pop, hip hop, like everything, like great stuff. Really tested my playing. I was like, man, I haven't played punk beats since I was like little, and like the drummer at the time, like such great range. And I was like, damn, it got me working for these things. But like it was such a cool experience. And man, just to be able to play with like one of my favorite bands from like when I was in my teens was, man, the best, and such nice guys. It's, like putting up with my incredibly high tuned snare and stuff, and this one, their sound guy, I forgot this name, but he'd be like, what did he say? It's one of the best things everyone's ever said about my playing. He's like, you got like that Prince drum. You sound like a Prince's drummer. And I was like, thank you. Yeah. I was like, that's the best thing anyone has said to me. Oh, but that. And then we played this one. Sorry, just to segue to another thing.
Yeah.
We played this gig with Kimber in LA, and they streamed it, or they put it online. And one of the comments was, this is great, but this drumming is obnoxious. It sounds like Jay Leno drumming. And I'm like, thank you very much. It's fantastic. It's
awesome.
But the best like compliments I've had on my drumming.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like Blackwell and I've forgotten who. What's his name?
The Jay Leno drummers. Let me look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me.
He's. Oh my God, I met him.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of his name too. Hang on.
Oh God. Teddy Campbell.
Why did Martin Smitty come? Martin Smitty. He was he was Arsenio Hall's drummer, wasn't he? Hang on.
It's Teddy Campbell.
Yeah, I googled it and it says Martin Smitty Smith. No, he was.
Maybe now, maybe back in back at that time it was Teddy Campbell.
Yeah, I thought.
And I was like.
Yeah, I thought Marvin Smitty Smith was Arsenio Hall's drummer. Pretty sure he was at the Pearl drum kit.
Yeah. But yeah, that was But yeah, the Regurgitator thing was great, bro. It was like another really great learning experience. Yeah. And those dudes, they're just like, they're so crazy. And they're so wacky, man. Like we play
in real life, because some of that
bro.
Some of that music's wacky as yeah.
Like we walk up to the big day out, and they're like, "Oh, for these big day out shows, we're gonna go shirtless and wear wigs, but wear them backwards."
Yep.
So we had all had these long haired wigs, but we wore them backwards, so it was all just covering our face.
And this would have been pre-SEA as well, because
that's it, right. No leotards.
No.
And whenever they talked on the mic, they did in like the metal voice. They're like, we are Regurgitator. And he like encouraged me to play like real metal style. Like,
that's cool. That's cool, man.
Yeah, bro.
And like from a fan to watch that's the shit you remember too. When you're at a show and you see that kind of stuff, eh?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's clever. That's,
Yeah, for sure. And being able to play the song formerly known as, was, man, the best, bro.
Awesome.
That groove is just fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. So what was, we said we weren't going to talk about COVID, but we won't talk about COVID itself, but what were you doing music-wise when COVID sort of kicked in, and did it put a stop to anything?
I was just we're just rocking with Seth.
Yep.
Thing. Like stopped a few Seth shows. It's definitely put drumming on the back burner, you know.
Okay.
Just gigs in general.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I've just been making beats again. Like COVID kind of made me just for some reason just started making hip hop beats again.
That's cool.
So that's what I've been doing.
One of my next questions was going to be: Are you writing rhymes again? Rhymes and raps? Are you looking to do that sort of stuff again, or is it more the beats and production?
Yeah, it's just the beats and production. Like, I love rapping because I love I never really had much to say when it came to rapping, you know. I love the technicality and the rhythms and stuff, you know. Like, some of my favorite rappers are all that's kind of like Busta Rhymes and Pharoah Monch and stuff, where it's all like the crazy rhythms and the timings that sound cool. Yeah, and not really a lot of content of what they're talking about. It's more just battle raps, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel. I felt like a period of time where I was doing that, and then I'm done.
Yep.
And I have no really pull to do it anymore. You know, it's like, but who knows, bro?
That's cool.
Maybe the next COVID, I'll start that up.
Right, your next COVID list.
Yeah, the next strain, bro.
You know, what I just did, I just bought myself fretless bass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I've wanted one for years, man, and like I've got a jazz bass and guitar, and obviously I can't play drums here at my house, and yeah, man, it came yesterday. It arrived yesterday, so my fingers are fucking. Look, I don't know if you can see my fingers, but they're all really, really sore. I played it to death last night, but yeah, that's my kind of COVID thing at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah, fretless bass.
Yeah, a friend of mine had a fretless bass, and in my teens, and yeah, it was just like I know people play that thing, man. You got to be so accurate with where you put your finger. It's like a violin.
You can't kind of hide them between the two metal frets. You kind of, that's the tricky thing. It all comes down to technique too, you know. But mate, I'm loving it. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. Yeah, I think COVID, like there's so much real hardship and like bad times for a lot of people with COVID, but I think there's some good things that have come out. You know, like people have been creative again.
For sure.
You know, they've picked up things they haven't done in years, you know what I mean? Like cooking, making music or whatever, you know?
Yep.
It's given a lot of us time to just kind of just be.
Yep.
Without having to work all the time.
And we're in that time now where we're starting to see music and albums and EPs that were made in the first lockdown last year.
Yeah,
that stuff's starting to come through now, and it's really cool, man.
Yeah, for sure,
bro. It's really good.
Mm.
Stevie Cat Jnr, bro, this has been awesome, man, and been great to hang out with you on this Tuesday night.
You too, brother.
Been looking forward to it. Stay safe and enjoy the little one, and it's a heck of a journey, bro. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Thank you, brother. All the best to you and your family, bro.
Yep, sweet as, my bro. All right, take it easy, bro. All right, later.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.